They're breaking free from the rift. They're breaking free. They found their way out. Is this a sign? Is Raynor coming back to us? Maybe. We'll see. As spawning in the right hand corner of Leylines, we have our Argentinian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing clan NWCE. It is Boreau. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the observation, we have the Peruvian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Unidos por el Vicio. It is XionS. It's been almost 5 years now. Despite the fact that I haven't casted him for 5 years, he has been quite active. You know, he rocks up. There was a bit of a pause. He does rock up in the chat from time to time. I say that it's been a couple of months since I've seen him in the chats, but he does rock up. Very passionate player. Very passionate for StarCraft. And we do have our initial opener, Double Gas. Okay, Double Gas opener out of our Terran player, Double Gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. Meanwhile, XionS back at home. We'll see how he does open up. XionS has been playing very peculiarly, is what I will say. Like, we've been seeing some odd builds here and there, some unique play, which is typically how XionS does things. Like, he typically, like, he can sometimes follow a player here or there, but for the most part, he does things his own way, his own style. I appreciate it. Does make for some interesting games. Even back in the Void Ray meta of PvZ, he would often go just mass carrier as quickly as possible. Wouldn't even bother with Tempest too much. Dark times. But now that we do have our initial opener, again, as we mentioned, Double Gas leads into a faster factory. Based on the factory placement, this could even be the beginning of a one base all-in. We could go for a 1-1-1 for a starport into just an all-in, or we could see a CC on the low ground. Probe is going to be hunted down. Scouting is going to be denied. And what do you have for us? What do you have? SME pulls back. It's going to be a Robo opener here out of XionS. Very safe play out of our Protoss player, going Robo. And 1-1-1, one base all in. Let's go. We're going for the one base all in. We have the reactor, we have the starport, no CC, no expansion. We've had a lot of short games today, I'll be honest. We haven't really had a lot of late game. We've had longer games, but we haven't seen like proper late game back and forth, like 4 base versus 4 base or 5 base versus 5 base. That just has not happened. Like, I think the last series was an example of that, where technically Cham got into Hive Tech and Cham got into like Lurkers and Greater Spire, but by no means was that like a macro game. Like, that was like, that was by no means. And it's not happening here either. Opening up Reactor Reaper Hellion with Liberator support. Interesting. Now, usually a one base all-in would consist of like a tech lab, early tank production. We get into a medevac to support the bio army, and you pull the boys. This is a unique amalgamation of units, and I'll say that, like, this is not like a proper composition. This is crazy. This is designed to wreak havoc in a mineral line. Like, Hellion Reaper can annihilate probes and annihilate mineral lines. Thankfully for XionS, safe build, immortal production. He has a shield battery. He is rallying his immortal, which is concerning. Oh, it's the observer rally. Okay. Pulls back. Does pull back. He spots the main army. He makes a second observer. He needs an immortal. Needs another immortal. Going for extra warpins. He's getting his second gateway. 39 is forged. Looks like once again he wants to rely on cannons. Does wall up. And with that second observer, again, he's just fanning out. Army moves in. We'll see, can our Terran player get into a mineral line? Oh, for now, deflected. So far, so good. Yeah, the wall is solid. Army's in position. Hellions, they try to rush in. And, oh, they barely get into the mineral line. Probes are under fire. Reapers, they bust in. They take out the Stalkers. 2 Stalkers go down. No major damage yet. Getting the third Stalker. Third Stalker does fall, but we need probe damage. We need economic damage here. We need some probe kills. So far, only 2 workers. That's not good enough. XionS defends. XionS, he does defend, and Boreau, he is expanding, but that is a very late expansion. This was not worth it. This was not worth it. He bled out 3 Hellions, 2 Reapers, and 1 Liberator. And what did he get done for it? He killed 3 probes. 3 workers went down, a couple of stalkers. XionS, he does defend, he's in a better position, getting to +1, into charge, or into Twilight Council. Into charge or blink. XionS, he holds. Let's hold on. boreau now taking his natural, but again, this is just a really late expansion. Economically, you can see, I mean, look at the worker counts here. The supply is not lying. The supply does tell a story. boreau needed more damage. Now, XionS playing it safe. He's just being more defensive, building up. I will say that XionS' third base is a little bit late and should soon be expanding. There we go. Third base is down the way. Now XionS can settle in. He can settle in, maintain a greater economy. He has the observer over the main army as well, so he knows that there's no move out. He knows he can skip warp-ins. Going for a second forge, Jesus. Going double forge, double upgrades. The one thing that XionS is missing here is the... Oh, as the observer gets found. Nice snipe there from boreau. I was going to say that the one thing we're missing here is a Bay for splash damage for Colossus, or even a Temple Archives for Storm. So splash damage is lacking, but for the time being, it's okay. Can get away with it. Our Terran players shouldn't move out without stim. We have stim on the way, combat shields. Getting to a 3-1-1 setup. Oh, the boys are okay, let's go. Mate, you start stim, you pull the boys. It's okay. Stim is not going to be a factor, by the way. Maybe towards the tail end, but we have the two base all in. The boys have been pulled. Observer did scout this, did confirm, and XionS is in a bit of trouble here. XionS, has he been skipping too many warp-ins? Going for a gateway explosion. This is the army. We have what, 5 stalkers and 1 immortal. Where are the warp-ins? We need an army. XionS, has he been too greedy? He is fully saturated on 3 bases. Gateways are finishing up. He has to slow this down. Tanks do siege. XionS needs as many warp-ins as possible. Without pushing forward. Stim is halfway done. Does spot the observer. Observer goes down. Gets 1 tank. Oh, he's bleeding out too much. He bleeds out far too many stalkers. The immortal does go down. XionS, he skipped his second immortal as well, just now getting it. Again, just very greedy play here by XionS. But this all-in, it's taking its time. And hey, I guess Stim is going to finish. Never let them know your next move. True. Never let them know. Throw down a 4cc, pull the boys. Let's go. Start up Stim. Throw down 3 factories and play mech. Aye. Get the fusion core, make medevacs. As he's pushing forward, gets up the robo, not bad. Mortal's gonna fire. Pylon goes down, depowers the shield battery. But again, is he taking too long? We're getting more and more warp-ins here. Charge is almost done. Ooh, XionS getting supply blocked. Uh-oh. Yeah, big supply block here for XionS. He cannot spend his money. Army stims in, takes out the immortal. Now he's coming in for the surround. Oh, doesn't commit. It doesn't commit in. Ideally, he would want to be catching reinforcements, but XionS out of position. Tanks are exposed. He goes to the dive. Yeah, blinks in, gets 1. Takes down 1, takes down 2, gonna get all 3. And XionS, he will hold. He will hold on, he will shut this down, takes out every single tank. Again, the all-in took too long. Oh my god, massive pickup, gets a full medevac. And there's no escape. There's no escaping this. Back at home, there's nothing. There's barely any saturation, barely any SCVs, barely an army. And here comes XionS. Again, he was being too greedy. He was in trouble, but alas, the all-in took too long. You know, boreau, he was just slowly pushing forward. XionS had plenty of time to respond. Played it safe, played it slow. XionS, he calmed down, didn't overreact, and he will kill the natural. Yeah, kills the natural base. Remember, he's got 1-1 upgrades. Trades with the SCVs, takes down the mineral line. And from here, XionS, he can go for the kill. Blinks up into the high ground, takes down the tank. And GG gets called. XionS takes the lead in the series. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. XionS does take a lead. That was an intense game though. Again, it was a crazy build out of boreau. He initially went for a 1-base 1-1-1, essentially a 1-base all-in, into a late expansion, into a 2-base all-in where he pulled the boys, but with late stim, late combat shields. It almost worked. To be honest, it did almost work. I do think that XionS was vulnerable, but unfortunately it took a little bit too long for boreau to really get his tanks in position to threaten anything. The tanks, they were a little bit too far back. I do think that he could have been more assertive, especially considering there were barely any gateway units to defend. I do think he could have been more assertive, maybe gotten within range of the robo earlier on and pulled off an earlier just like attack and aggression, but with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. As we are now getting into game number 2. Here we go. Game 2 is going to be on Frostline. Rush Dark Shrine for Archon drops. Exactly. I mean that's a little bit more standard though, a little bit. But sure, I get you. So here we go. We're getting into our next game, getting into game 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our red Terran player from Argentina, representing clan NWCE. It is boreau. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Peruvian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, leading the series 1-0, representing Unidos por el Vicio. It is XionS. Take a fast spire into Mass Roach Ravager. True. Let's go. Sun Tzu Art of War. In order to confuse your enemy, one must confuse thyself. I'm sure he said that. Sun Tzu. Very wise. Yes. Exactly. If you don't know what you're doing, how can your opponent know what you're doing? Exactly. It all makes sense. And hey, again, it almost worked. That was not the first time that we've seen Zion be overly greedy. Like, we saw XionS be overly greedy against Cham as well. That was on Whispers of Gold. So XionS, he's a little bit prone to that, definitely. At least we have observed that so far in these matches. XionS, he has to calm down. boreau could try to take advantage of that. For now, double gas. Once again, double gas opener, going for a faster factory. We could see boreau commit into 1-base play once again. But I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of the idea of going for 1-base play on Frostline. Frostline is a larger map, longer rush distance by ground. Something like 1-base play is going to hit a lot later. You're going to give your opponent a little more time to respond, a little more time to react. So we should be going for just a delayed CC. Should be. I'm not going to pretend I know the tendencies of our Terran player. I don't. It's been 5 years since I've casted him. A lot can change in 5 years. It's been a long time. Robo opener once again. XionS playing safe. Again, the power of a robo opener is that it does allow you to make early game immortals and early observers for early defense. Ooh, meanwhile, we have once again a 1-1-1, but this time we have an add-on swap. You give us the early tanks. Okay, early cyclone production. Okay, regardless, I do like this a lot more. Remember, last game we had a 1-1-1 to begin with on 1 base, but we went Reactor Reaper Hellion. Reactor Reaper Hellion instead. This time we have a add-on swap into Tech Lab on the factory into cyclone production, which is going to be a lot more robust, which has a lot more firepower, which has a lot more potential to break through a gateway army. So I'm liking the cyclone rush. From here we can go into a medevac to help micro, to help control, to help juggle units. Reapers are on the way. Regardless, hyper aggression from our Terran. Staying on 1 base. Here comes that Cyclone, going for a Liberator to support. Ooh, but yeah, he does get caught out there. Reaper does fall. Nice pickup. Here comes that Safety Immortal. And the Observer does get eyes on the Cyclone. It's going to be Cyclone into tank, into 2 more Raxes. This time a proper 1 base all in. Let's go. Let's go. Again, our Terran player does confirm the Robo, does confirm the same opener. Once again, very safe play out of XionS. Now, last time we saw a single Immortal into a second Observer, which I was concerned by. We'll see how greedy XionS is. Going for a Twilight Council. Going down additional gateways. He does skip any additional Immortal production. Now, what's concerning about that is that XionS, he sees everything. He sees more Raxes. He sees another Rax on the way. He confirms there is no natural. We should be responding with another Immortal. Like, he's confirming one base all in. As XionS, he's seen enough. He has seen enough. Lock it on the Immortal. Liberator here into the mineral line. Stalkers, they will respond. Trading 1-for-1, a better trade for XionS. XionS getting into Blink, getting into the Forge, into +1. And boreau, he should be hitting with Stim. Stim has begun, and we may choose to pull the boys with this. The boys might be pulled without any splash damage, without any Colossus, or without charge lots. I do think that pulling the boys can be quite difficult for the Protoss to deal with. But it does depend when this hits, right? It depends when this hits. We have a safety cannon on the way in the mineral line. Reaper dips in. Reaper confirms. Reaper gets eyes on all the gateways. Doesn't quite see the Twilight Council. And XionS is getting into Blink Stalkers. Now, Blink Stalkers can still be okay, but ideally, XionS, he wants to be active. Ooh, Observer gets caught. But XionS, he needs to be active with these Stalkers and needs to slow down the army in the center of the map. Picking away Marines, forcing sieges, maybe catching a tank. There we go, he does push. Thankfully, he does move out. Boys are being pulled. Here comes the Unsiege, here comes the push. And this is lined up with Stim. And we'll see what XionS can get. We'll see if he can catch the Cyclone, a tank, a medevac. The tank is under fire. Massive pickup. Oh my god. Whew, the micro, the control. Boreau, calm down. He saves the tank. Does save the tank, does save the Cyclone. Very nicely done. That could have been disastrous. XionS cutting back. Oh, gets a Cyclone. Bleeds out a Stalker. Stalkers are getting low. I wouldn't be opposed to pulling even more SCVs, to be honest. So they're trying to tank. Here comes Stim. I would say a bit of a wasted Stim there from boreau. Does catch the Observer. Does spend a scan. Here comes a second Immortal reactively. And again, we're sieged up barely out of range. We're not quite threatening much here. This tank is... once again, barely out of range. The Robo, second Immortal has arrived. Charge is not done. And we are slowly pushing forward. Yeah, Robo's going to go down, but alas, the second Immortal does pop in. Tank shots on the Immortal. XionS catching reinforcements. Nice moves. XionS, he does catch reinforcements. Tank's moving further in. Boreau, he does have more urgency this time. A lot faster to go for the kill. But the rally here is hurting him. The army's overstimmed. Oh god. Yeah, he's heavily overstimmed. We come in for the full surround. And XionS, he will clean this up. He shuts down all three tanks, takes down the bio as well. Took a little bit too long. Charge did finish in time. And XionS will completely shut down the all-in. He will shut down the push. He cleans this up. Does defend in time. And again, I appreciate that XionS was active with those Stalkers. Again, forcing early stims. Picking up early Marines. So this time a much stronger response out of XionS. Gets his third base. And GG. GG gets called. XionS will take a 2-0 lead. Will take the series. Will look strong here in this final match. Let's go. GG, well played. We had a much more aggressive build this time from our Terran player, but likewise, XionS also had a much stronger defense this time. It was able to be more active, more proactive as well. It was able to slow down the push, slow down the all-in, and buy enough time for charge. GG. Whew. GG, well played. This leads us into game number 3. As a reminder, We are playing all 3 games regardless of the scoreline. All 3 games are being played. And we're getting into Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold, this is a much smaller map. The map pool, I do favor aggression on this map. The problem is that boreau, he has been playing one base quite often so far in this series. I don't know if I like the idea of doing it 3 games in a row. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of that, but we'll see. We'll see as we're loading into Whispers of Gold, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player from Argentina down in the series. We'll see if he can make a series out of this and put a point on the board. It is boreau. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, sorry, the blue Protoss player from O'Neill, spotted Vicio from Lena, Peru. It is XionS. Here we go. Never doubt the triple 1-base all in. Homeowner and 3-point prove that it works. True, but they are animals though. They are animals. Homeowner and 3 points, but you're not wrong. Aye, aye, aye. No, no. It can work, even at the highest level. As we'll keep an eye on our Terran player. Double gas once again. Double gas means a faster factory. This can lead once again into a 1-base all-in, or we could go factory into an expansion. We'll see what we go for. Our eyes are on the Terran as he comes in with the scouts. Does tip in, does confirm. Show us what you got. Hello, SCV. Where are we going? SCV does fan out over towards the right-hand side. Do we go for a proxy starport? We could. Okay. Let him... Oh, proxy fat. Never mind. Going for the other one. Proxy factory. Let him cook. Proxy factory is on the way. This could be a proxy 1-1-1 into proxy tank. True. Could go for the tech lab. See what he does. Embrace. Likewise, XionS getting his natural. Just gate expand or gate type expand. Standard open out of our Protoss player. And do we go for the starport? Do we go for the tech lab? What do we go for? XionS once again, safe opener. Safe opener going for the robo. Leads into early immortal production. So safe build here out of XionS. There's the tech lab. There's the starport. Let's go. Going for the proxy 1-1. We're going for the tech lab. That should be for tank production. Medevac as well for the starport, or even just liberators. Yeah, just tank lib. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Pylon already under fire here. Losing some shields. Now just fully saturated on one base. There we go. Tank is on the way. Who proxies a tank, Papi? Boreau, Papi. Let's go. Send it as the starport is finishing up. And we'll see if we're able to get on top of that robo ahead of time. Remember, it is going to be Observer first. Observer first out of XionS, not Immortal, is going for a safety shield battery. They're still on our Tosis pylon, keeping everything powered. That pylon is going to be vulnerable. Here comes that Liberator. The freedom is coming. He's got freedom. And the boys are being pulled. The boys are being pulled. This is going to be lined up with the first tank. Second tank's on the way. Observer, will he see this? He will not. He will miss the boys. The SCVs barely avoid that Observer. Observer doesn't see much. We'll get eyes on the Marines. Just barely. Spots the bio. Oh, he got a second. Oh, he got a second Observer. He got a second Observer. No Immortal? 0 Immortals this time. XionS, he is not ready for this. There should be an Immortal on the way, but he got a second Observer. He's crazy. He's throwing down shield batteries. I mean, he scouts no expansion. He realizes something is wrong. Yeah, something is wrong. Something is missed. Now he sees the army. It's all or nothing for the Terran. Oh, a little bit early to siege. It is an early siege. Once again, he's playing a little bit too safe here. We got to send it. We got to keep going. We can't take our time. Nice tank shots. Nice tank shots. Immortals on the way. It's halfway done. There's Takes a scan. Again, we're just slowly leapfrogging forward here with the tanks and liberators. Getting within range, the Immortal is going to pop out. Tank is still not within range. Oh my, miss rally. Brutal miss rally. Rallies into the army. Second Liberator has arrived. Yo, slow and steady. He's on top of the Robo. Oh my god. Takes down the Stalker. Robo is going to go down. Only one Immortal. That's still a good thing here for boreau. Takes down the Robo. Behind this, gateways are on the way, getting to charge. Tanks are moving in. I still would appreciate more urgency, especially with these two Liberators. These Stalkers can't really engage. Like we can be more aggressive with this. So there we go. Does push forward, takes down the shield batteries, so within range. And massive shots here on the Stalkers. Two more Stalkers go down. And XionS is up against the wall here. As the shield batteries are falling. Liberators now going to be covering the ramp. And there's no way behind this army. And again, XionS, who was just so greedy here in a sense. To go for the two observers. Delayed is Immortal, and you got the one out. Nexus is going to fall. And can he break that? Gee, there's so many gateways. Can he break the main? Can he break the main base? There are going to be sentries. Force fields are available. Yeah, slowly pushing his way in. Charge is now done. But that's going to be 3 Liberators. That's a lot of freedom. That's a lot of freedom, Pat. Getting on top of the gateways. Again, the slow siege. The Venn diagrams, they're coming. They're coming, Pat. I do think at this point he can get on top of the ramp. Like, he can go up the ramp even with his tanks. As more zealots are building up. Waiting for extra warp ins. A couple of Stalkers as well. And the Stalkers, they cannot engage. Remember, they don't have Blink. No Blink for XionS. Gateways are falling. Yeah, brutal tank shots popping up. And soon it's going to be all or nothing for XionS. He's going to try to get the surround. Dropping on the low ground. True, there is that War Prism. He has micro potential. As he's going to try to collapse on this. And he will catch a reinforcing tank. Not bad. Oh, good. Does he get it? Barely does. Tank goes down. He collapses in. It goes for the dive. Takes down the second tank. Liberation. They take down the Stalkers. Zealots is not enough. Not enough Zealots. Not enough Immortals. Massive pig off. Immortal goes down. And boreau, he does it. He breaks through. The one base all in. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. One base all in. This time with the proxy. This time it hits much earlier, much sooner. GG gets called. And boreau, he does put a point on the board. Does take a game. GG. What an animal. GG, well played. Does put a point on the board. This time a lot more committed here, going for the proxy across the map. Likewise though, XionS, if you remember, he did skip his Immortal. Both game 1 and game 2 he went Observer, then Safety Immortal. Here he did go double Observer. He did delay his Immortal production, which meant he only got 1 out in time. Likewise, it was a late scout as well. He did not probe scouts. True, there was no probe scout from our Protoss player. So he had a later realization of what was going on and what was happening, and with that, our Terran able to fight back. GG, well played. Whew, oh my god. And with that, we have our group wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up our group here as we are concluding our coverage of Group C. Here we go. We had a wild broadcast. Again, as I mentioned before, it continued to be the case. We didn't really get any macro. I'll be honest, there were a lot of all-ins, a lot of cheese, a lot of aggression. We did have some longer games, but usually those are longer games because of failed all-ins and failed aggression from one of the players. I'm referring to Chairman XionS, even XionS and Adez as well. So if we had some longer games, it was typically because a player failed with their all-in and the game just continued from there. And we didn't really have a proper like macro back and forth. Not in Group C. It was crazy. It was wild. Group C for cheese, baby, for cheese. True. Even Cham was going for a lot of all-ins himself as well. Not wrong, not wrong. So GG, well played. Again, shout out to our 2 players making it out of the group. That is Cham and XionS. Cham and XionS, they make it out of the group. This is a round robin group and all players played against each other. There were more matches played, but we are just going to, there were a lot of matches played out, and we are just having a bit of a highlights run of Group C. Of course, Temi had more matches, Arez had more matches, XionS as well. But we at least featured each of the players once. Some of the other matches were a little bit more one-sided, and I did at least want to feature Cham and XionS. And hey, we even got to be introduced to Arez, Temi, and boreau as well. So do appreciate it. GG. GG, well played. With that, that concludes our coverage of Group C, and tomorrow we're going to be back with Group D. Tomorrow we will return. Group D is going to be a wild one. Group D, I would say, is maybe the group of death. We have a little more competition. Group A and Group B were a lot more one-sided just because there was a clear distinction between the skill of the players. What I mean by that, Group A was featuring Special, Juanito. Special, he was the clear favorite, and the others were more amateurs or semi-pros, so they couldn't really contest. Group B was similar. Group B, we had Akeron. Akeron was the clear favorite, and we did have Peruano and Daryl, but they are GM, that is true, but they couldn't really threaten him too much. Group C, Cham, clear favorite. I would have said that XionS could threaten him, but again, XionS, he is out of practice. XionS, he is out of shape and out of form, so Cham was a little more favored and didn't drop a single map. Coming into Group D, I would say, is harder to call, kind of. I mean, Group D is going to be an interesting one, as we do switch our group over here. Group D is going to be featuring a player that I haven't casted in a long time. Actually, I want to confirm once again. So we're going to be featuring some modern players. We have Mute. Mute is a more modern pro player. He is, I would say, one of, yeah, actually, sorry, I forgot about Mute, because again, he's a newer player on the scene. I would say that Mute is the best Protoss in Peru right now. I would say he's in stronger form than XionS. I think that XionS in his prime would maybe be greater than Mute right now, but XionS, he's right now still recovering. So Mute, he is very much so the favorite player in this group. Next to him, we have Luciano. Luciano, a Terran player from Chile. I would say that he's the best Terran in all of Chile right now. Again, Harpy has retired, so Harpy isn't really, or Jarpy, Harpy isn't really a factor anymore. Likewise, we have players like Dastan stepping away, Darkness stepping away. Luciano, he is a player that I'm a big fan of, and I look forward to seeing some Luciano. And a wild card is going to be Bombilla. Bombilla is a wild card. This is a player that I wanted to check. When was the last time I casted Bombilla? Hold on. I last casted Bombilla in 2020, mate. 2020 Battle of the Americas in November of 2020. It's also been almost 5 years. Almost 5 years since I've casted Bombilla, so it's been a very long time. And I'm excited. I want to see how he looks, what form he's in, and how he compares to everyone right now, because Bombilla is also a player that again has long since retired. Quickly checking his history. When was the last time he competed here? Hold on. I think I looked him up last time. Yeah. He last really competed back in 2021. He technically played in like LTK power rankings in 2022, but I don't think I count that. I didn't. That's like an in-house tournament sort of thing. But yeah, he last really competed in tournaments like back in 2020, 2021. So it's been a long time. It's been years since he has really been at that competitive form. Because of that, he's going to be a wild card. I don't favor him to make it out of the group, but like he's definitely a veteran. He's a veteran of the scene, veteran of the region. He has that experience behind him, and he does have more experience than Luciano as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the old man does. Let's go. I'm ready for some Bombilla, papi. Been a long time. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting group, and again, that's gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be covering Group D. That is the plan. At least one, but yeah, exactly. Tabito in the chat. Likewise, we're also going to be covering some of Tabito's matches as well. That'll be next week, most likely next week. Next week we're going to be covering Group E, F, G, the rest of the group stage. Hopefully, I say hopefully, because I do know that still a lot of matches haven't been played. A lot of matches haven't been submitted yet, so I'm still waiting for that. So we'll keep an eye on these groups. Like Group E, there's been barely any matches played. Eggs hasn't really played too many of his series, so I might have to wait to cast Group E. Group F for the most part is concluded. Yo, Tabito, what's going on between Neo and Draconics? Like, I want to see that match. Like, I see Neo versus Draconics hasn't played, Ryojin versus Draconics, Ryojin versus Vortex. Like, there's a lot of really good matches there. Actually, I would say Group F is maybe Group F is the group of death. Actually, like, there's some high quality players in Group F. Jesus, like, Group F is crazy. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to Group F. Very competitive group. But for now, though, we're wrapping up. For now, we're done for the day. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I'm going to head off and get some rest, get some food, and work on some thumbnails. I've been falling behind a little bit. So there's a lot of work to do here on the CranKy Ducklings. So I'm most likely going to be working on some thumbnails and trying to catch up on work behind the scenes on social media and posting VODs as well. Speaking of posting VODs, if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoy the StarCraft, then consider following us. !socials in the chat. They don't want to play each other. Make them play. I want to see Draconics contra Neo, papi. Make them play. SMH. But here we go. This is the rest of our schedule here. Again, tomorrow we're going to be live Friday morning with the HSL Group D. Later on this evening at 8 p.m. KST, we're going to be live with the Rex March Madness. That is going to be, we're going to be featuring players like Clem. We're going to be casting Clem, Byun, Cure, and Shin. So 3 Terrans and a Zerg. That is later tonight in the Rex March Madness. Tomorrow night we have the Pondcast. That is our weekly talk show where we do discuss StarCraft. We go over all the news, we go over all the events and all the results of the week. So if you want to be up to date with StarCraft, we got you covered there. Last week we covered the news regarding Maru. He was recently discharged from the military. Likewise, we also caught up on the Loco interview. We caught up on I Am Krakow, on the end of I Am Katowice, as well as many other news over the course of the week. So a lot was covered. Going to be covering even more this week. Likewise, you have KSL over the weekend, MSO, STC, SCL, Firegrow Cup. Plenty of content over the week, as always. If you want to tune in, then check us out. Wait, yeah, see? Papi. I see someone that didn't tune into the podcast. But yes, news was released regarding that. News was released. Otherwise, yeah, with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Here. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, we have plenty of content throughout the week. If you see something that you like here, if you cannot watch it live, then check out the VODs, ! Socials for the link to YouTube. We do post VODs on YouTube on a daily basis. Every single day we have VODs on YouTube. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the horizon. Otherwise, you can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all things CranKy Ducklings. You can also support us via Patreon. It's all good. That's why we have VODs, baby. That's why we have VODs. But you can check out our Patreon. Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments, and you can see our current events that we do support, that we do fund through Patreon. Sea Duckling Open, Macedon Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup, 3 events on a regular basis. And we did recently hit our new goal. Thank you so much to all of our patrons. Thank you so much for all the support. All the money goes directly to the players, goes directly to the community, to the StarCraft scene. So thank you so much for all the support. It's thanks to you that we're able to host our events on a regular basis and boost the prize pool and help out those players as well. Our next goal is listed here, still a ways away to our next goal, but eventually I do hope to help pay out admins and casters. I would love for us to get there for Patreon. For now though, 100% of the money goes towards the players, 100% goes towards the competitors. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, our next broadcast is going to be later on tonight. It's going to be in 8 hours. 8 hours time, we're going to be live with the Rex March Madness. Otherwise, in under 24 hours, we're going to be live with the HSL. So yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We are going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live? Who is live? Who is streaming at the moment? Who can we raid? Let's have a look here. I would like to stream myself, but there's a little work to catch up on, and I do want to try to sleep before the Rex March Madness, so I want to get a little bit of rest at least. Until then, Patches is live. Huevito, Eggs is live as well. Yo, we could raid Eggs and pester him to play his HSL matches. I think I might do that actually. Huevito. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys have a great week. And take care. Take care, everyone. Until next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Till next time.